Hi everybody, I'm here with specmonkey.com and I'm taking the opportunity to tell you about myself and my revolutionary product. What this system does for you, I call it the RATA, R-A-T-A, it's Rapid All Targets Acquisition. What it does for you is basically whatever you see with the naked eye, you can see magnified right away. If you've ever used binoculars, spotting scopes, or even a long-range camera, you've had the experience of doing this. You can see it with the naked eye, but you have a hard time finding it in a magnified field. And in fact, the higher the magnification, the more difficult it is to find because the field of view becomes narrower and narrower as the magnification goes up. So 9 years ago, I saw some young ladies trying to count manatees, and they were able to count only 1 out of 10 as they were coming to breathe and then going down again. They were trying to count the marks on them so they could identify them, and they were very frustrated. And I wanted to help them. I figured there's got to be a way to fix this, to do this, because our eyes work in parallel. Wherever one looks, so does the other. Why is it so hard? And I used to do this work when I served in the military, and I had to find something in the crosshair sometimes, and it wasn't all that easy. Again, the higher the magnification, the more difficult it was. So I put some thought into it, and I figured, okay, so you have the magnified field. You need something next to it to help you find what you're looking for, so you can see it in a magnified field. And at first I thought of just using a tube with some crosshairs, but I immediately thought that what you need on the other side of the magnification is zero magnification, because that's the widest field of view. And our eyes actually can see incredible amount of detail all by themselves. So, make a long story short, instead of using just a tube with crosshairs, I figured out that a red dot is an excellent point of reference. And what you actually need is a point of reference, because if you're looking for a bird in a clear blue sky, you have no points of reference, and you're trying to find it, it's difficult. So I came up with this system called the RATA system, and the only adjustment you really have to do is to adjust the distance between the two scopes to match the distance between the two eyeballs, the center of the eyes. The distance is called IPD, it's interpupillary distance. It's the distance between the center of each pupil. Everybody in the world has a different distance between their pupils, really, just like the fingerprints. Might be close, but not exactly the same. So you loosen this, you adjust the distance to match the distance between your eyes. So one eye looks through the center of this tube, the other eye looks through the eyepiece. From that point on, really, the only thing that you have to do is turn on the red dot. You place the red dot or whatever point of reference is in this holographic system on the target, and it immediately appears magnified here. It's as if, just think about it, if I was to surgically put a red dot, a point of reference, in your left eye, and surgically insert a scope in this eye, since the eye work in parallel, wherever the left eye was to put the dot on would immediately appear in your scope, right? We can't do that yet. It's not a very nice thing, and I don't have any volunteers, so I've done it externally. And the name of the company is Russ Enterprises. The name of the optic system is Tsofeh. It means a scout or the watchman on the wall in the Bible. And this is with a regular 30 millimeter outside dimension spotting red dot scope and on a small spotting scope. This system mounts on any spotting scope in the world, basically. You might have to put some pads here, but otherwise it mounts on any scope on the market. It can have a round base, it could have a flat, it could have all kinds. All you need to find is a place where you can mount it, and the idea is to try to parallel these two to one another, this way and that way. And you do it with pads, and then you just put the band through, and you tighten it. You just make sure that it's set up for you, and that's it. We're also working right now on arrangement with scope manufacturers, so they will be mounting it permanently on it. But this was designed for people that already have their spotting scope. Why do you need to buy another spotting scope? All you need to get is this. That's all you need to get, and it will mount on your existing spotting scope. If you don't have a spotting scope, then hopefully sometime in the future, instead of buying a spotting scope and then buying this, you will be able to buy the whole unit altogether. Some of them will even look just like a regular binocular, however, they will have the target acquisition on one side and the magnification in the other side. For some people who really like binoculars because they're afraid that this will do away with their binoculars, let me just assure you that binoculars really only bring you twice the same amount of light as a monocular does. Plus they give you some added depth of field. But if you look at things through a spotting scope, you will see that one eye really brings you enough detail. So instead of, let's say, a 7 by 30 binocular, if you get yourself a 12 by 24 monocular with a 50 millimeter objective lens, it gives you the same amount of light actually as the 7 by 40 because you're not using all the lens. So you don't have to get the whole thing. Now, after I developed it for this, my immediate thought was, well, I like to shoot every now and then. Why couldn't I put it on my rifle? Well, you can. You just unscrew that, and I know, don't tell me this does not look like any rifle you have, but it's to show the principle. The boss fits the same one, so if you want to have only one bridge and one red dot scope, you can use it on your spotting scope or on your rifle scope. So this is just one model. There are many models to go on different rifles. This is a 1-inch barrel on this rifle, or 1-inch tube. There are rings. This universal base will match any rifle scope. This is a 1-inch ring. There are rings for 30 millimeter, 34, and 35. Anything on the market. This is also what I call the tactical system. So if you want to run with your rifle and you don't want this to bag into you, you can unlock it, move it up so it's out of your way. If I wasn't on camera, this would have never happened. And then it's out of your way. It's very solid. You actually can raise it up to here and shoot a target up to 50 yards away if you want. If you want to go back into the sniper position, you just lower this, move it down. You're looking through your rifle scope and you bring it down to where you know your eye is looking through the red dot scope as well, and you lock it and it's positive. Now, not everybody wants to use this kind of a scope. They want to use either a bigger scope, red dot scope, or holographic scope, or they want to use a smaller one. So for that, again, we unscrew that, and I created a separate attachment that will take any scope, larger or smaller. What I have here to show you, so this comes off, the boss fits in here, and can I have that one? So at this moment we have a bigger red dot scope here. It mounts into the same, the boss mounts into the same hole. You tighten it. And again, the only adjustment you have to make once you've done that is to adjust the relationship between these two scopes to make the distance between your eyes. Now, on a rifle scope, of course, this one will be, sorry, see, it's not a regular rifle. On a rifle scope, this will be a little higher than this, of course, because your head is cocked a little bit, so for both eyes to look through both at the same time. Remember, you're looking through both at the same time. You need to have it a little higher for different people at different heights. So that's that. Now, I want to show you how this looks because this holds a bigger scope, but the smaller scopes will also fit here because this is a Picatinny rail. We call this the T attachment. So if you want to use either a bigger red dot scope than the standard 30 millimeter, or you want to use a smaller one of those tiny ones that are very expensive, but they're very, very nice. I have one coming actually. They will mount on this. And again, you will be adjusting the distance between the little scope here and here to match the distance between your eyes, and you're done. If you want to make some fine adjustments, of course, the red dot scope will also have some minor adjustments in it, so you can raise the dot up and down, left and right, etc. In general, I am not sure if we will be supplying you with the red dot scope because I'm really more into what I invented. But you can see that you can actually match basically any holographic or red dot scope to this. If you come up with one that you don't think I've covered here, please let me know. One other option that we have here is what I call the long rifle system. You can see it doesn't have the locking system. So this is for people who don't need it. But the main thing in this option is that you can take some of it off. I had a request from somebody in the Special Forces. The idea is that you unscrew this little screw here and you take it apart. You can stick it in a pouch in your pocket and you have a very small thing on your rifle. You can put it like that in your box or in your bag, whatever. Then when you come to where you want to use it, you just take it out of the pouch. It can go only one way in here, so you'll already have it set. It goes in, and then you just tighten this screw, and it's positively set. Now this is a little loose because I'm showing it to people so they can see how easy it is to adjust, etc. But once you tighten these screws, it's a permanent adjustment. So this is the long rifle with what I call a bayonet system. And the bayonet system, again, you just unscrew this, pull it out, and you're done. You're ready to use it, put it back in, tighten it, very positive. Our website should be up in about 2 weeks, and the website will be tsofeh.com. Should be up in about 2 weeks. You'll have videos, details, instructions, etc. Again, I want to thank Spec Monkey for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to communicate with us. And thank you so much for your attention.